All right, all right, all right. You are tuned in to the Sunday Dinner. I am your host, DJ Dupsy, and we are continuing our summer music series. Last month, we had local artist Dan Frechette come on and talk about his music and play some songs for us. And so this week, I have some friends with me, a couple new friends, and one familiar friend who you might recognize on today's show. And so they're going to talk about the music they're going to play and, the themes and inspiration behind the music that they're going to play. But first, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and anything that they want to say about themselves that they want you to know as the listeners. So I think I'll start with my old friend, RicoR. So if you want to introduce yourself and then pass it off.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Yeah, it's good to be back. My name is RicoR. Rico Rushworth, RICOR is my stage name, RicoR. I'm a local DIY recording artist here in Santa Cruz, and I'm also a master's student studying rap and decolonization, looking specifically at indigenous American rap, as well as German rap, kind of through the lens of the Holocaust and the genocide. Understanding rap as really an inherent form of resistance, that's something I really deal with a lot in my work. And my own personal music deals a lot with spoken word and politics and identity and all those things. And yeah, it's really good to be back. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Manny, Manny Florendo, and Rico. Rico's a good friend of mine. You know, we're collaborating. I've been collaborating a lot longer with Roland. He's a longtime childhood friend, and I play Native American flute, and Roland we've been doing a duet and collaborating with different people. And it's a lot of fun. We love collaborating with Rico, and we look forward to doing more with him.
Okay, I'm Roland Reyes. I'm play the guitar, and me and Manny perform at open mics. And Rico heard us, and he said, "Hey, you want to collaborate with something with us?" I said, "Sure." So, yeah, I was open up to that genre.
So today I want to kind of talk about spoken word and the power of openness. Kind of in this world today, we're super divided. And, for me, like with these guys, like they just said, I've been spending a lot of time in the open mic circuit, collaborating with Manny and Roland. And, just kind of people that really care about openness and about music and kind of positivity. And for me, that's a really big part of my music, the importance of positivity and the importance of spreading a message. And that's really what I've kind of been about my whole life. And, if we look at like the history of spoken word, it's always been a way of kind of freeing the mind from atrocities and freeing the mind from trauma. And if you look at a little bit of the history of like spoken word, it goes back to the West African griots, who were inherently storytellers. And they really used spoken word to represent community and dealing with grief and really dealing with real issues. So for me personally, like I use spoken word to achieve kind of a sense of harmony, achieve a sense of community, and essentially just kind of a way to wink, or just as a way to kind of wink to like certain issues. And that's something that's really important. And it's been really fun with Manny and Roland because I've never really... Like, I've had a looper in the past for my solo stuff. I've collaborated with a lot of different bands. But these guys were amazing that we kind of started playing some of my songs, and hearing my music with these guys is really cool. So, yeah, that's exciting.
Ashe, ashe. Especially for the brief history part. I didn't know the exact term, like the griots. Yeah.
Rios, yeah.
Yeah. But I had learned heard a long time ago that, the connection between Black American rap and West African storytelling, right? And I think what you brought up, right, makes me think about this ongoing like debate and dynamic, like ever since rap and hip hop started becoming mainstream, right? And so you think about folks like Sylvia Robinson, for example, and like Sugar Hill Gang, right? They're very prescient in the hip hop rap scene, and how there's always been this like back and forth about like, oh, hip hop and rap is so, dirty and like, what's the word I'm looking for? controversial, and it's so it's so it's so aggravating, it's so aggressive, it's so but at the same time, right, recognizing the cultural roots of this practice, right, in that unfortunately in America, when you take any cultural thing and commercialize it and capitalize it, and you just want to package it and sell it massively, right, to the masses, then of course it gets diluted from its cultural reverence, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I mean, it's interesting because I'm reading so much right now about like the history of hip hop. I'm reading a really good book called The Anthology of Rap by Adam Bradley, Andrew Du Bois. And, they talk about how rap is very universal, but, there's so many misunderstandings about rap and misunderstandings about what it is. And there was a great section that kind of talked about how, rap, like there was this misconception of like rap not really being a musical genre, by people.
Yes, yeah.
And I just talked to, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of a part of that, but like I just talked to this guy that I practiced with, and he was like, oh, rap's, it's not really music. And that was interesting, just to have those kind of moments. But I think it's way more complex than people realize. And I think in this day and age, if you think about how it's inherently about resistance, the world is very divided and we really have to resist. I think rap is really a number one tool to come back to for us, I think.
Right. And what was the name of that book again for the audience?
Yeah, it's called The Anthology of Rap by Adam Bradley and Andrew Du Bois. It's a really cool, it came out in 2010. So in terms of hip hop, of course, as you can imagine, it's already outdated because there's so much more that's come out since then, but it's really cool. Basically, it's basically like a chronology of rap lyrics starting in the 80s through 2010, basically, when the book came out. And they kind of picked like some of the major songs and artists and talk about them and really actually have the lyrics in the book. And I'm doing it for an independent study I'm doing right now. I'm reading that book. And I got it when I did my 8th grade exit project on hip hop. That was kind of the first time for me really studying rap. That was like 10 years ago. Now I'm finally reading the book. It's really, really cool. So I definitely recommend it to people. And in terms of just understanding how complex rap is, it's a really, really cool book. And there's a lot of other ones too that I can plug maybe later too. But yeah.
Get your read on, all you hip hop heads out there.
Yeah.
And especially if you're unfamiliar with the genre, if maybe you're one of those folks where you've been like, yeah, is rap really a genre? Like, there's just some young whippersnappers, agitators. But again, no, there's cultural relevance, there's cultural reverence, there's roots to this genre of music. And so, I'm sure there are like references like within that book you just mentioned, like you go to the reference section, the bibliography, right? Get your read on, people.
I like that line, get your read on.
It is 2025. There is no excuse to say I can't find something or I don't know. Yeah. It's all at your fingertips. So given that this is our summer music series, we want to get into the music. And so in our first course, we have a couple songs that you're going to play for us. And so the first song, I believe, is Work and Hope. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about that song and like any inspiration behind it, the message, anything you want folks to pay attention to.
Well, so before I do that, let me just preface. So tonight we're going to do a combination of some of my originals, a cover that I've been doing for a while, and then we're also going to end with an amazing song that Roland, a riff that he wrote that's one of their pieces. But yeah, we're going to start with a song of mine that I wrote called Work and Hope. And for me, the sentiment of this kind of goes back to a little bit what I said earlier. In today's society, really all we can do these days is it kind of feels like we can work and hope, just really work and hope to make the world a better place when things get scarier and scarier and we start to really lose hope. And I kind of talk to, I talk to people, I go on, social media and all these things, and I see people are losing a lot of hope because of the administration and all these complex things happening. And it feels like everything's really being distorted constantly, especially considering things like cancel culture being so strong and, ignorance kind of coming back in certain ways with certain things, like, just some of the political things happening and everything. So the name of the song is called Work and Hope, Distortion. And Work and Hope, the actual phrase for the song specifically came from Anne Frank. And, I've said earlier I studied the Holocaust, and Anne Frank is a major kind of person and figure. I studied a lot about her life. And Work and Hope was actually Otto Frank, her father's motto that he kind of imposed on their family. And there's a great film called Anne Frank, The Whole Story from 2001, featuring Hannah Taylor-Gordon. She's a British actress who plays Anne Frank. Ben Kingsley plays her dad. It's my favorite movie. And they use that phrase kind of as like they just talk about how that phrase was really important to their family. And Distortion, I had an experience when I took a Holocaust class in my undergrad at UCSC where I was accused of Holocaust distortion because I said I related to Anne Frank, and that was a really interesting moment. I've never experienced that before, so it kind of sparked the basis for the song. And we're going to do it live today, but there is a great recording out there that I did where I actually sample Anne Frank, or rather Hannah Taylor-Gordon, but as Anne Frank in the film. I sample her in the film saying, that's my father's motto, work and hope, and that's kind of in there. And there's a couple other references to that movie in the lyrics, and in the original recording, there's some more samples from the film and stuff. But yeah, so we're going to do this live. The song is called Work and Hope, Distortion. Work and hope, work and hope, ayy, 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 work and hope, work and hope, ayy, 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 work and hope, work and hope, work and hope, ayy, 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 work and hope, work and hope, work and hope. All we gotta do is work and hope. You have to look both ways for the truth to grow. All we gotta do is work and hope. You have to look both ways for the truth to grow. All we gotta do is work with what you found. You're gonna live 9 lives if you stick it out. All we gotta do is work with what you found. You're gonna live 9 lives if you stick it out. How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? Why did you accuse me of that? Why did you create the situation that caused me to sway that just ain't okay? I have to leave class and be put on display by sending messages I didn't want to send. I couldn't just stay there and play pretend. We can't live in the past, only the future. You say I can't relate to ants, you're just some sort of creature. Is the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end? Freedom, truth, and right, the hand to lend when all love is blown. You're all alone, the only thing you can do is just live and hope. All we gotta do is work and hope. You have to look both ways for the truth to grow. All we gotta do is work and hope. You have to look both ways for the truth to grow. All you gotta do is what you found. You're gonna live 9 lives if you stick it out. All you gotta do is what you found. You're gonna live 9 lives if you stick it out. I remember when I was a kid and you told me that great story about the 2 Paulas, how they're always there, the good and the bad, choose which one to be. Being a teen means you have to hide your true self, the good and the decent side, cause you're just don't know who you really are. Good pulse are strong enough, come from afar. You said you were ashamed to being a Jew, the chosen people, the marginalized youth. You say one day people will look up to us if any of us are left, and not just because you're Anne Frank, but also because you showed them your strength. You don't play pretend, the only thing you care about is being friends. And now the question is, yeah, how can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion? It's messing up the world in the broader portion. How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? Dehumanization, genocidal creation, curiosity or connection will take you in a different direction. It leaves marks on the soul, where it comes from, where it flows, and where it goes. Nobody knows. The fires affect the eternal blows that crows into the everlasting hole. Connections that you didn't keep, and maybe you will. They refuse to reach, listening to the creek and the bird, the sound that I would have never heard. You said that you forgot about birds cause they're sick, being forced into other world, leaning in through the still, through the popping pill, the colonial damage and the ongoing kill. Keep the right youth and the evanescent truth. The sound escapes that eternal space where the judgment lies for the hand to wait. Distortion, distortion, yeah, come on. Distortion, distortion, yeah, come on. Distortion, now, distortion. Yeah, come on, distortion. Yeah, distortion. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. Hope will unite us. Hope will unite us. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. We know the lines will divide us and hope will unite us. Hope will unite us. Hope will unite us. Now, perpetual amnesia. 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 Perpetual. Keep away from the amnesia. The amnesia, keep away from the amnesia. The amnesia, keep away from the amnesia. The amnesia, keep away from the amnesia. Now how can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? How can we live with all this distortion, messing up the world in the broader portion? Yeah. In the broader portion.
All right. So that was Work and Hope Distortion. Wow, that was great. And just want to check in real quick with our other guest, Manny Roland. Any thoughts or anything y'all want to say about either Work and Hope Distortion or the next song coming up, which I believe is called Hungry to Survive? Yeah. So any thoughts y'all want to add in about the song that we just played or the song that you're getting ready to play?
In my case, I really don't play percussions, so it was like my first hand. But then, if you're a musician, you keep a steady beat, and so I was able to do that.
Yeah, Roland's really helpful for me as kind of the drummer, because we do it usually with the looper live. We perform a lot at open mics, and we usually have a looper as a reference, but today we just have the drum, and it's kind of cool for me to have like another percussion instrument next to the drum to kind of enhance certain things. So that's really exciting. And Manny, your flute on Work and Hope is one of my favorites.
I was gonna say I really enjoy playing flute with you. It just opened up a new world for me. Me and Roland talk about it. We're not used to that genre, but Roland says, hey, both of us are open to different, trying different things, and I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as that we have been. It's kind of invigorating. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know that you keep like requesting Work and Hope too when we do it sometimes, which is a lot of fun. So
yeah, it's fun.
Because also like I think the flute, just the melody of the flute kind of helps. Like Manny, we were talking the other day, and he said like he kind of tries to go off like my lyrics, and like what I'm saying, and having a flute there for kind of just enhancing parts of the lyrics is really cool. So.
All right, y'all. All right. Well, let's get into the next song in our first course, which, I guess no pun intended. The song said "Hungry to Survive," and our first course of the Sunday dinner. Right.
I didn't even think about that.
Right. How appropriate, right? For the Sunday dinner, right? And so, any stories or inspiration behind this song, or anything that you want the listeners to listen out for in this song coming up?
Yeah, so it's more of kind of like, this is actually the one kind of straight poem we're going to do today, and it's just like a spoken word piece. It's actually inspired by just indigenous poetry in general, but specifically, I'm taking a really cool poetry course this quarter, and I was reading Layli Long Soldier. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she's amazing. She has a piece called Whereas, which uses enjambment, which is kind of where lines are broken up, and it uses a lot of different formatting. And then another book that I read this quarter is We Are Not Animals, No Somos Animales by Martin Rizzo Martinez. He's one of my mentors, and I'm doing an independent study with him on rap and hip-hop, so that's where we're reading, like I said earlier, Anthology of Rap. But we were reading his book, which is We Are Not Animals. It's actually about the California mission system and the details of that. And he's an amazing local scholar, did a lot with Santa Cruz State Parks and other things. So those are kind of the two texts that this was inspired by. And I just wrote this like a few months ago when I was reading those books for the class. And I just sat down going, okay, I actually haven't written a straight poem in a while. So it's the first one I did because I've been focusing on songs for like a while. And I just thought I'd kind of crank it out. So it just came to me spontaneously. And it is also online. And I have a really cool format kind of play with it where I change the font of different things and stuff. And so the poem itself is visually really interesting. But yeah, this is Hungry to Survive. And actually the title Hungry to Survive too is a title I've been working with. It's inspired by Shannon Rivers. And he's a great scholar, indigenous scholar, who does a great kind of interview in my dad's book, We're the Middle of Forever, where he kind of interviews different Native people. Shannon Rivers is in that book. And there's a great line in the book where he says, the Native people are starving to survive, but I'd changed starving to hungry. So this is Hungry to Survive. The mission, the myth, the way. Why have I not learned about this in school? Why do we still need to educate, empower, interact, reiterate, re. It's all about the reminder, reiterate, reorganize, reconstruct, react, reform. Denial. Spalding Gray, Clear Cut, John Wayne. Films meant to misinform. I met Misinform on my way to school. She offered me tea and crumpets, offered to teach me about the world. I refused. I told her that rap is the reason I can talk. What does it mean to be native these days? The white part of being indigenous, the indigenous part of being white. Come together right now over me. Got those eagle feathers protecting me. Not anti-techting, protecting. Combine, comfort, the escape. What is escape? Understanding. Reimagining, re-educating. The church. Recombine, regain, rebirth.
All right. If you are just now tuning in, you're listening to the Sunday Dinner here on KSQD 90.7 FM, 89.5 FM, and 89.7 FM KSQT Prunedale. You may also be streaming live at KSQD.org. And if you are, how super cool are you? Keep streaming live at KSQD.org. We're back with my buddy RicoR and my new friends, Manny and Roland, and in our next installment of our Sunday Dinner music series. And we're talking about themes surrounding indigenous identity, spoken word, rap, right? West African storytelling, its connections to modern day rap. And the song you just heard was Hungry to Survive. And so we're getting into our second course here. And so, you know, and thinking about what we've discussed so far, because you brought up a lot of great things like books and like, you know, poems for people to check out. And so, you know, definitely at the beginning of our second course, want to just give you, any of you, all three of you, if you want an opportunity to speak to how you personally come to this work and how what personally kind of brings you and given your identities, right? However you might identify. RicoR, I know you identify as indigenous, you know, as well. And so
personally,
yeah. And so, you know, if you want, right, but sharing a little bit about how you feel your personal story and your personal identities connect to this music that you create, play, or listen to.
Well, it was interesting. I was first time I was using a slapstick, or what's it called?
Clapper stick. Yeah.
The clapper stick, and it was pretty fun using that new instrument.
And I will say that clapper stick that Roland's playing, little kind of background, but that was gifted to me by one of my close friends, who is a local native, and he's done a lot of different things, and he's done ceremonial music here and stuff, and it's it's an instrument that's used a lot in ceremonial music, but it's kind of cool to just take it out of that and use it in like rap, because I don't know how often that's happened, but it's something that I've tried doing, and so yeah, we've been playing with that. So
I'm just happy to be involved. I know, it's very appropriate for, my instrument, the Native American flute, which my flutes are made from Guillermo Martinez. He's a Native American, very well-known native, and he does native workshops like how to build them and how to play them. So yeah, I think it's very appropriate for me to just share that music that I have in me with Rico. That's a native. Yeah.
And you have a lot of flutes, right? So you have different ranges, and that's really cool. Yeah.
So our first song in our second chorus is called Daily Prayer, right? And so same deal, inspiration, stories, things for the listener to look out for in this song.
Yeah, so this is kind of a perfect segue, because earlier I briefly plugged my father, Stan Rushworth, who was actually on the show with me last year in August, and we did a great episode called The Call In with Stan Rushworth and RicoR. You guys can look it up. And he's a local native. He is kind of where I have my native culture from his side of the family, local indigenous man and scholar, and he was a teacher at Cabrillo College at UCSC, and he's a really amazing person. And he actually wrote a prayer that he would do at the beach for a while when he was kind of in a tough time in his life. At one point, he wrote this prayer that was kind of helped him get through that. And yeah, he kind of just, I heard him do the prayer for years. And then at one point I was just like, I kind of want to make that a song. I just like that idea. So we talked about it. And he gave me his permission. So this is actually, the lyrics of this are actually his prayer. So I did not write the lyrics for this. But they are really cool lyrics. And I could just hear the melody in my head when I heard him do the prayer. So this is basically a rap version of my dad's prayer that he did. And he actually called it Daily Prayer. So the title and the lyrics are his. So this is kind of a nice ode to my father, who's a big inspiration for me. And if you guys don't know, check out his work, Stan Rushworth. He's a really good writer. But yeah, this is basically just a rap song I made to that prayer. And for me personally, and I know for my dad as well, it kind of represents like connection to nature in a time that really frowns upon this, and a time that's kind of lacking of this. And the lyrics are like, beautiful sea, come into me. Beautiful sea, come into me, give me your strength. The idea that there's, both a relationship with like you bringing your strength, but then there's a nice reciprocation with beautiful sea, come into me, where the sea comes into you. So there's kind of, the idea behind it is that there's kind of this exchange with nature, and this exchange with kind of connecting with nature where, you're going through a hard time, you go out and you connect with nature. It can also kind of give back to you. There's actually a great part where I say give back to you. So I kind of credit the song to just being inspired by indigenous hip-hop and kind of spoken word in general that connects with nature. And I have other songs that connect with nature, but not as purely as this song it does, because this song really is kind of purely about nature and the beauty of nature. And in the recording, I sample John Trudell, who is a Santee spoken word artist, and he talks about how, the colonial world is kind of murdering the life support systems. There's a great interview on John Trudell, Becoming Human. It's actually the name of the interview where I sampled in the recording. But so the recording kind of brings it back to like, okay, this is not only about nature, but also about coming back to nature in a time that kind of destroys nature. But yeah, this is the live version. This is called Daily Prayer. Hope you guys like it. Beautiful sea, come into me. 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 Beautiful sky, 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 come into me. Beautiful sky. Beautiful sky. Beautiful sky, come into me and free my mind. beautiful sky. Beautiful sky, beautiful sky, come into me and free my mind. Yeah. Heal my heart from my body, heal my heart from my body, give me a strength. From my heart, heal my body, heal my heart from my body, give me a strength. Beautiful rolling sea, from my heart, heal my body, heal my heart from my body, give me a strength. From my heart, heal my body, heal my heart from my body, give me a strength. Beautiful rolling sea, come into me. Beautiful rolling sea, come into me. Beautiful rolling sea, come into me. Beautiful rolling sea, I'll give back to you now, I'll give back to you now, I'll give my strength to you now, strength to you now, I'll give back to you now, back to you now, I'll give my strength to you now, strength to you now, I'll give back to you now, back to you now, I'll give my strength to you now, strength to you now, I'll give back to you now, back to you now, I'll give my strength to you now, strength to you now. Beautiful sea, come into me. Beautiful sea, come into me and set me free. Beautiful sea, come into me. Beautiful sea, come into me. Beautiful sky, 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 come into me. Beautiful sky. Beautiful sky. Beautiful sky, come into me and free my mind. Beautiful sky. Beautiful sky, beautiful sky, come into me and free my mind. We're moving together, breathing. Beautiful sea, oh beautiful sea, take my strength into you now. Bring your breath into me now. Breathe with me today and tomorrow and tomorrow. 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 With me always. Yeah, let us care one another, let us care one another, always, let us care one another, let us care one another, always, always, yeah, come on, always, always, yeah, always.
All right, the daily prayer. Before we get into our next song in the second chorus, which is called Prayer Loop Song, just want to touch real quick on this concept of prayer because that's intrigued me, and really kind of, you know, I guess taking it out of maybe when people hear prayer, they may think church building, Christian church, Catholic church, maybe a very kind of organized religious kind of definition when we think of prayer. But as you were talking, I'm thinking, prayer is really, no matter what your religion is, no matter what your faith is or isn't, I think of prayer as just you're talking to the universe, you're talking to the space around you. You're putting your intentions out there, right? Something that either you want or need, or maybe for someone else. That this idea of prayer doesn't have to necessarily be linked to organized religion, but it's just about how do you communicate your intentions to the universe, right? What do you meditate on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's interesting you say that because, so this is Prayer Loop Song by Supaman. He's a Crow indigenous rapper, and he's actually a Christian indigenous. So for him, these are actually they are actually Christian lyrics for him, but, it's cool because you think there actually are a good number of, Christian native people and Christian native artists. So for me, when I think about my relation to this song, it kind of brings in the Christian religion with indigenous music, which you don't always hear. And I mean, I think you hear it more than you think you do, but definitely with Supaman, it's very prevalent in this song. And this was the first song that kind of introduced me to the indigenous rap movement, which I mentioned earlier is kind of my field of study. And I came to it when I was 17 or 18, and I found this great YouTube video of Supaman doing Prayer Loop Song. It's actually called I think it's called a Studio Enjoy Prayer Loop Song by Supaman, Supaman. And that was basically the video that introduced me to indigenous rap. And I thought about, I tried covering it a few years ago on my own before I met Manny and Roland, and it didn't really feel right. I couldn't quite connect with the lyrics and stuff. I just knew okay, I definitely need a flute player with this if I was going to do this. So, fast forward however many years later, and I met Manny Florendo here, and it's great to be able to play the song with these guys because it feels first time it's actually felt right with a band and definitely with an amazing flute player. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what the song is. And yeah, again, just kind of, feeds into indigenous rap and activism as a whole. And I like the mantra because it kind of feels like a mantra with his native chorus. And then I repeat the verse a couple times. And we've actually done this with my looper too. So this is kind of, different without the looper. But yeah, this is prayer loop song, kind of our little acoustic version. So I hope you guys like it. Way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey, way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey. I pray for the ones listening right now, struggling, feel like giving in right now. I pray for you, pray that you come back home. I pray that you understand that you're never alone. Pray for the single mothers and the deadbeat dads. Drop the kids off and go party gets me mad. So I pray for peace, I pray for change. Keep on praying when everything stays the same. And I pray for the pastors and all of the churches and those who cry light songs following hearses. I pray for you, pray for the sick and the poor. Pray for the rich man you don't get to the Lord. And I pray for wisdom, and I pray for power, and I pray for being ready in the final hour. And I pray to those who keep judging men in the streets. And I pray for my friends and my enemies. Now way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey, way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey. I pray for the ones listening right now, struggling, feel like giving in right now. I pray for you, pray that you come back home. I pray that you understand that you're never alone. Pray for the single mothers and the deadbeat dads. Drop the kids off and go party gets me mad. So I pray for peace, I pray for change. Keep on praying when everything stays the same. And I pray for the pastors and all of the churches and those who cry light songs following hearses. I pray for you, pray for the sick and the poor. I pray for the rich man who don't get to the Lord. And pray for wisdom, and I pray for power, and I pray for being ready in the final hour. And I pray to those who keep judging men in the streets. And I pray for my friends and my enemies. Now I pray for my friends and my enemies. Come on. I pray for my friends and my enemies. Way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey, way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey, way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey, way ya hey yo, 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 way ya yo hey. Come on.
If you're just now tuning in, you're listening to the Sunday Dinner here on KSQD 90.7 FM, 89.5 FM, and 89.7 FM KSQT Prunedale. You may also be streaming live at KSQD.org. And if you are, how super cool are you? Keep streaming live at KSQD.org. Again, the song you just heard was a prayer loop song. And that was originally by Supaman. Right?
Supaman.
Written by Supaman.
And it's not Superman, it's Supaman.
Right, S-U-P-A.
Yeah. He's a major
Supaman.
Figure in the indigenous rap world, so if you guys don't know him, definitely check him out.
Yes, get your Google on.
Get your Google on.
Get your read on. Again, it's 2025. There's no excuse to say, I don't know. I cannot believe we are at our just desserts already. This is, it's amazing. And, time is just the construct of time. So in our just desserts, I know you're going to play us another live song, and then we're going to go out with another song. Yes. And also want to give y'all any opportunity to share with us any upcoming projects, any places where we can come see you live, right? Our just desserts, give them something sweet to go home with.
Oh, well, hey, Manny, you want to plug our open mic situation?
Yeah. Yeah, so we collaborate together, me, Roland, and Rico, and we're always at the not always, but most of the time we're at Ugly Mug, or we're at California Coffee, or at Carlita's Culture Center. Those are primarily the three that we're doing, and who knows, maybe later on we'll add a fourth one.
Yeah, yeah, we've kind of just been doing stuff in the area, and I mean, these guys. I mean, you guys have been playing together open mics for a long time, right? So. I just kind of came into it pretty fresh. I'm actually new to the open mic scene because I've been doing so many gigs and stuff. But playing with these guys is really cool because it's my first time kind of at the open mic.
If you guys don't know where Ugly Mug is, it's on SoCal and what, Porter?
Yeah, SoCal, yeah, Porter, yep.
I guess. And
yeah, right by my old dojo, actually.
And then California Coffee, which is on Thursday, open mic. It's,
yeah, California Coffee really, so let me take a second to just plug them because they have a brand new open mic that started there a few months ago that actually, I think we were probably like one of the first groups to play there. My colleague told me about it, and yeah, California Coffee is an Aptos right off of SoCal Drive. And yeah, they don't have a lot of people hanging out there, but it's a great vibe. The host wants to make it kind of more of a jam session. So if you guys are out there and you guys are looking for a great open mic, definitely recommend it. And yeah, then we're also at Ugly Mug and then Carlita's Cultural Center in Carlitos. Great community, yeah, on Fridays. And then Ugly Mug on Mondays and California Coffee on Thursdays. And yeah, we'll probably do more in the future, but those are kind of our top three. And my three open mics too. I'm also solo. I'm at the Kava Bar downtown often on Monday nights, just on my own. But with these guys, yeah, Ugly Mug, California Coffee, sometimes Corlitos as well.
All right. So the live song you're going to play for us in the studio is called Enchantment. And so again, story, inspiration, message behind Enchantment.
Okay, I wrote that song. It was actually a key of G, but Manny said, "Do you have a song with my F sharp, a flute?" And I said, "Yeah, I could just transpose this to an A scale." So I did that. We're also tuned at 432 hertz, not the standard 440 hertz. It just matches the flute, and it's just a nicer vibe with at 432 hertz.
And yeah, let me say that, I mean, so this is a song that they, how did you guys, how did you guys start playing the song? I'm curious.
Oh, okay. It was an original song of mine, and I had it for the longest time. But then when Manny said, hey, I want to do something with the F sharp, and so I had to put extra measures between chords. So it's a longer, so Manny could improv more easier. If I played it the tempo I was playing it, I would be rushing a lot of the measures.
Yeah, and another thing too that we discovered, actually Roland discovered this. Well, we're actually, before when we started playing, we were playing all in a minor key, and what's unique to us is my flutes are in 432 hertz, not the 440 hertz. That's mostly more common. One of the things that we're doing now is we're actually playing in a major key and major and doing the relative minor, adding the relative minor. So it's something that we're doing, which is fresh, that we want to explore a whole lot more.
And yeah, let me say that, for me personally, this is kind of cool because I've never done like improv poetry before. I wrote one poem a couple years ago where I was at, like, I think I just went into the woods and I improv'd a poem on the spot and then I wrote it down. But besides that, I'm such a writer. I always just kind of perform when I write. And I just fell in love with when I heard these guys play the song for the first time. And for me personally, I think this kind of, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it kind of represents our collaboration that we've kind of had so far, and just kind of the spontaneity of the open mic scene that we're all three of us were kind of a part of. And also just, like I said earlier, the idea of like improv and flexibility in music, and how at open mics you have, all these people just really wanting to get together, just make beautiful music, not caring too much about ego or anything, and just making beautiful music, which, these guys really introduced me to with the open mic scene. And I was familiar with it a little bit, but, just being able to play with Manny and Roland and some of the other people, has really shown me that, something I'm newer to in Santa Cruz. And I want to say that the improv poetry that I do with this, it just happened spontaneously because these guys did an instrumental. And then I think we just did it at one point. We just started doing improv. And I always kind of think about one of my other mentors is Ronaldo Wilson, who I've plugged before on the show for different reasons. And he's an amazing spoken word artist. He does a lot of stuff. He's professional. He does stuff all over the area, all over the country, I believe, as well. And I took a few of his poetry classes, both in my undergrad as well as in my grad. I'm going to take one of his classes again in the fall. And I have a really vivid memory of me jamming with another one of my older collaborators on Where's the Love by the Black Eyed Peas. We were hanging out after a UCSC event on campus, and he just started spitting an amazing verse, improv. And for some reason, I always channel that moment, and I channel him when I do this. So, but I'm just thinking about him. I'm also thinking about people like Jack Kerouac. Yeah, often I do like a verse of Crazy Horse, and Crazy Horse is a great song by the Santee spoken word artist Don Trudell. But those are kind of the three that I think of, and just any of the improv poets that I've gotten used to, which are kind of new people for me to even look into, but it's super exciting. So, yeah, this is Enchantment, Roland's song with my improv poetry. One breath. One breath. Universal strength. Universal breath. One breath. One breath. A universal mind extended into a world that is our own. A world that is our own. One breath. Universal strength, universal breath created upon a world in which we live. Extending into something that is beyond ourselves, something beyond ourselves in which we gather the strength needed to survive. The strength needed to survive. We are enchanted. We are enchanted. Flowing oceans going strong, creating that which does belong, extending into the world that we know, the world that we create. Do not fear that which you do not know. Become one with the earth, become one with the light. We are enchanted. We are enchanted. Lightning expands into positivity, the positivity that we need to survive, that we need to live on. We are the seventh generation. We are the seventh generation. We are the seventh generation. Crazy horse, we hear what you say. One does not sell the land. How do we sell the earth? How do we sell the stars? How do we sell the air? Crazy horse, we hear what you say. We are enchanted. We are enchanted. Universal breath expands into universal mind. Its universal mind expands into universal breath. We are enchanted. We are enchanted. One breath. One breath. One breath.
All right. And as we get ready to close out the Sunday dinner for this month, just want to give a quick preview for next month. That is going to be a little mix. We're still going to have some music, but there's also going to be a guest who's going to talk about upcoming conference for Black farmers or surrounding the Black farming movement. So my friend Shayna Burns is going to come and join us again, and I'm hoping that our musical guest in August will be a local queer trans performing artist, kind of drag. It's more than drag, but I think that's the reference that most people will get, and they're called Supernova Sync. And so I hope that we're going to have Supernova Sync here in August. And so before we close out with our final song, which is called Dreams, right?
Yep.
Want to give our guest just one last shout out to give us any stories or inspiration behind this song as we close out the Sunday dinner for this month.
So Dreams, this is one of mine that I recorded on my own, and I just thought it would be interesting to take us out with this because it's one of my recent singles, and it kind of speaks to, it's talking about activism, politics, paying attention and kind of drawing attention to the world. And yeah, it's called Dreams. I actually wrote it in German first, with help from my mom. She's a great German teacher and a writer. And she helped me kind of write. I've never written like a political song in German. I wrote one other song, 2024, that was in German, that was kind of more all over the place on purpose, just comical and stuff, but in German. But I've never written like a political song in German, so this was the first time trying that. And it's really inspired by the German gangster rap movement, which is actually a very conscious movement. And if you guys don't know, there's a lot happening in Germany that actually echoes stuff happening in the United States with gangster rap, where they literally take direct inspiration from some of the major people here, like NWA, Public Enemy, people like Tupac, and even people like, who are more controversial in that, but like people like Eminem and, there's actually like a great German rapper called Sido who's very inspired by Eminem and things like that. And the German rap movement in Germany is very much kind of like the gangster rap specifically is about the stuff happening there with immigration and the Turkish immigrants there and the politics over there, which, just like stuff not necessarily directly confronting Nazism, but sometimes kind of weaving in and out of that. And so they're very politically conscious over there. So, and I guess specifically I'll say too, like there's not a lot of songs about the Holocaust and the genocides in general. But this song for me kind of speaks to like social justice and activism and spoken word and expression as a whole in a world that desperately needs it. And I was listening to a lot of German rap going, I don't hear a lot about the actual Holocaust. Like there's a lot about immigration and kind of, like I said, like Nazis kind of in a different way and neo-Nazis and stuff. But there's not really a lot about the Holocaust specifically in rap. So this song is my way of kind of trying to nod to that a little bit. But yeah, it was called Träume originally, which directly translates to dreams. And my first time writing a song and then translating it, and that was a fun process too. But yeah, I just hope that this kind of sparks a little bit of where my headspace is at the moment, because I think it's kind of the one song that I think capitalizes on a lot of the research I'm doing and things I'm thinking about. And the direct reference of this is actually a song called Danke, which means thank you, by Sido, who I mentioned earlier, German rapper. But anyway, this is Dreams, my recent single, and I released it under the title Desperate Words So it has an A side, which is Dreams, the English, or actually the German is the A side, and then the English is the B side. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope this kind of echoes a little bit what we talked about today. It's called Dreams.
That the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was near. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was there. Sometimes I sit and wonder to myself where all trouble comes from. Then I say to myself, this is the first step to restitution of that which was forcibly taken. I think of all the Jews, they were persecuted, hated, tortured, gassed, and executed. They were forced to clean the pavement with acid. He was forced to write Jew on the window so it lasted. That's why now I'm hoping that the world will change, that America will learn something from those natives. It's important to keep the road nice and free, to not block people out, but let them live here and breathe. Maybe this country will finally follow the rules, and things will actually get better. Man, wouldn't that be cool? We're supposed to find equality in the world. We gotta remember and love, or it'll all disappear. We try to not lose sight of the light. We don't wanna lose the fight. We know what's right. I got dreams. I got dreams. I got dreams. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was near. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was there. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I dreamt that I was near. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was there. Neo-Nazis, Israel and Palestine, the Holocaust and World War II are a crime. They never would have happened without the growth of the hate. You don't believe me? Oh, just sit back and wait. All I can say is, it's only gonna get worse. If we're not careful then, we'll never ever learn. It's all gonna go under after the abuse and the kills. Hope will slowly just vanish until it's all dreams that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I keep dreaming I was near. I keep dreaming that the world was better. I keep dreaming of a world without worries, despair. I dreamt that I was there.